this morning, and it's a little past 11, I have been doing everything I can to get this boat ready for a test, to include replacing the wooden transom. I've got a couple of layers of, what do you call that, Flex Seal tape here to cover up all the holes. I actually sprayed the clear Flex Seal there a little bit on the corners, put on my license plate. Now I had picked this little Nissan 4-stroke motor up over the winter for like cheap, I think maybe like $400 or something like that in February, and that's the best time to get a good deal in New England on an outboard. She runs really good. I just did a test fire. Got a fuel tank here. I am going on my maiden voyage. I've got a couple of oars. Well, they're paddles for a canoe, but they have oar locks on them, so worst cases I can make my way back. Even have a little anchor. So this is I believe it's a 14-foot, that's what I've got it registered as anyways, boat. I actually bought this trailer at the auto auction I go to quite a bit, just for another boat that I've got, and it ended up coming with this old boat, and this is going to be the day that we find out if she holds water or not. It seemed to have rained a little bit. It's actually a little filthy. I was trying to scrape out some of the stuff from being parked in the trees. But since it had water inside of it, I'm hoping that that means it'll hold water from the bottom of it. So we'll see. See if we can get it out into the water, and if she holds water well enough, I'll try to fire up the motor and take it for a spin. And Bandit, my stunt dog, since he's just a new puppy, and I don't have a vest for him just yet, I'm gonna have to leave him here while I give this a quick shot. The river that I'm going to is just down the road from my house, probably less than a mile, maybe a mile at most, but anywho, we'll see how it goes. Okay, just backed her in. Now there already was a little bit of water in the back, and if she's sinking, she's not sinking that fast. So go ahead and get her undone and see how it goes. Well, so far so good. Down here at my local little spot where the kids jump off, but we have a beautiful little concrete ramp over here. Actually, just talking to a couple of guys doing some they were just doing some magnet fishing up there. Just found some junk, nothing special, but okay. She's been sitting here a while. Hopefully most of that water is what was already in it, and yeah, I got my life preserver and everything, and gonna give it a whirl. Good. All right. All right. Now, I've never driven a boat with this type of a little outboard that you run by hand. So far, so good. Getting a kick out of it. Not sure if there's a no wake zone. Take it easy a little bit. Okay. Well, I got a little bit because the nose is up and it's all coming up. Oh, the turtles are jumping off everything. Now I'm up in my little town here, and this river goes for, I believe, several miles up and around. And if she is developed a leak, it's slow enough that probably a little bit more Flex Seal will take care of it. So far, so good. I'm just out navigating the old Suncook River, my neck of the woods. I've tried to kind of get it up and going a few times, and I think I have junky old gas that I need to run through, but we're not really taking on any more water. That's great. And trying to figure out where the actual river goes, because I'm getting some into the weeds over here, but yeah, some really awesome spots back here. And the motor, super quiet. Little 4-stroker, love it. Okay, let's kind of find my way through this old, it's an old railroad bridge abutments. Hoping I don't bang into something under the water. Not many people come back here. Oops, I think I just bumped something. Just a bump. Alright. And this is my first time ever running a motor other than a little electric with a hand tiller, so it's not hard, it just takes a minute to get used to it. Let's see. Yeah, see, you can hear the motor right now. It's kind of like, maybe it's not quite enough motor for a 14-foot boat, but she's moving it. She's moving it all right. Well, I thought that I had an issue with the little water pump. I don't know if it's going to get on the camera now, but the little spot where the water kind of comes in the impeller and cools the parts of the engine down and spits it back out. I didn't see it running too well, but I stopped, put a stick in it. It seems to be okay. I think it's just because it's a small motor. It doesn't really hiss out like a larger one does, unless it's on higher RPM, which, oh shit. I'm gonna crash this thing. It's funny because this isn't hard to do, but since I'm doing it with my left hand, I'm just a little backwards from how I normally would. And ooh, coming up on a cool little swimming beach over here. Good times. And Bandit's happy that I came home. Happy-ish. Well, success. My my one battery I had with me died on me, but if it is leaking, like this guy, oh, he was just leaking. If this is leaking, it's not that bad at all. So the work on the transom board, and it's not marine grade plywood, it's just pressure treated, but with some of that Flex Seal tape underneath it, Flex Seal spray on top, and yeah, the plug was in, and she seemed to be holding all right. The motor stuttered on me at one point after driving it for several hours, and I believe it's because I've got like year-plus old gas in this thing, so I've got to put that into one of the cars, replace it with some ethanol-free that's treated, and I have a feeling she'll be running a lot more. Now, the reality is, I bought a 5-horsepower motor because the other boat that I have, the other rowboat, is a 10-footer, and it says its maximum it'll take is the 5 horsepower. And so I got this, and definitely, because it is, like I said, it's like a 13.5 foot or something. It's called a 14-foot boat, so it's pretty big, and although it's not that heavy, it definitely is kind of heavy in the water. So it's although it sits pretty high in the water, but still the motor's definitely a little bit undersized. So it's not really getting right up on plane, and not going to be towing a skier or certainly anything like that. But for a little cheap boat to go out duck hunting and or just fishing in a creek or wherever, I think it'll be fun enough. And I do actually have a big island tube to put on the front, and not that it's going to tow it very well, but certainly a few people could jump in this thing and go out someplace where there's a sandbar and hang out for the day for pretty cheap and get out where the big boats are. So it's gonna be fun. So anyways, success. And yeah, this is pretty cool. I didn't really put much of the work on this thing because it was pretty rough and kind of, I thought, boring, and it was a little hot this morning, but so far I'm digging it. So I am gonna have to name this thing pretty soon. I think it's gonna be Betty, Black Betty, Blambadam. But anyways, thank you very much for coming out and joining me on this little adventure here. Don't forget to get outside, get your hands dirty, and we'll catch you next time. Bandit, we got to get you a life jacket. Then you can come out on the boat and hopefully learn to swim. And I want to him out there today because I don't know that he can swim just yet, and he doesn't have a life vest, and I didn't want to handle a boat that I wasn't sure was going to even float, and a puppy. We'll get there, buddy. He is so tired. So tired. I'll stretch it out. Stretch it out. No shame.